with this light right here. Honey, it's falling over. Hello, this is Sandy from Ledoux Designs, and tonight, hi Angela, tonight we are going to play with a lot of oxides, and we're going to do this Beachscape stencil scene from the ton. So this one actually has 5 layers. So layer 1, and it tells you on there what colors. This one is more complicated than the one on Tuesday night, just because each layer of stencil has different colors. So it's really hard to see on camera, but there's like this circle area around here that says do everything in this area right here in one color and the rest in another color. So the other color is listed up here at the top. And then the second layer is pretty easy. It's all the same color. The third layer is 2 different colors. So again, there's another box all the way around here. Oh, it's actually 3 different colors. So the stones are gray, mid-tone blue, mid-tone green. That's layer number 3. And layer number 4 is 2 sections as well. Green, 3. Green, blue, and gray again. And then it tells you light, medium, dark, and so forth. So the instructions are on the sheets. You just have to look at them pretty close.
And if you flip it over on the back of the her backer sheet.
I will get there, honey. This is number 5, and it will be brown. So there's 5 layers. Now on the back, they give you instructions in here. So you'll need 3 green, 3 blue, 2 gray, 1 brown ink. So I have chosen all in oxides right here. What colors we'll be using tonight. And then it tells you stencil 1, the top half is light blue, stencil 1, the lower half is tan, and so forth. So it gives you very good instructions. If one of you could say hi so I can make sure comments are working, that would be super great. But we're going to go ahead and get started following this instruction right here. I will say the instruction as I go along so you guys know what we're doing. So I'm going to start out with a piece of paper that is it's a 1/4 of an inch smaller than an A2 card. So it is 4 by 5 1/4. Just so you know what we're starting with. I am going to use my sticky mat, so that from the waffle flower. So this is the sticky mat that we used the other night. It's still a little bit on the dirty side, but it's all right. I kind of used a stencil, so we're going to see if this one fits in there because it was a different, the ton stencil, and they might be close to the same size.
Slide the thing to see comments. You got comments coming through.
I do. I have comments I can't see. Hi, Paige. Hey, Mom. There we go. Hey, Deanne. Howdy. Hi, everybody. I'm very excited about this stencil tonight, but it is going to be a little bit time consuming. But we're going to do it twice, so you guys will really get used to knowing exactly how you put this together. I'm liking these stencils from the ton as well. Hey, Cheryl. Okay, so first I want to give you guys a little tip. Now I made these on my own, but they are so helpful. So I want to share them with you, and you could make your own version however you want. But I took my oxides and I put a little flap at the top so I could connect them together. But I put each color and what they're called, because I don't know if you guys know, but this is tumbled glass. This is tumbled glass. So this one is very close to the color on the label, but they aren't always close to the color on the label. So And also, I have all of them, so sometimes I don't even know what color I want. So I made one, and I made the back of the card the color family. And I made it for all of my oxides, so when I choose colors, I can match them up like this to make sure that, like, they'll go together and they'll match up and they'll look really good. So these are what I use to choose our colors for tonight. Now, there are a few things about this stencil that I'd like to make some adjustments on. So I'm going to show you. Dale did this stencil a while back and he posted it in the group so you guys could see it. And it looks like this. When you get done, it looks like this. This was his version of choosing the colors that he wanted based on whatever he decided he wanted at the time. So what on this one, this section right back here that's in light blue and dark blue, right along here, this whole piece right here, that to me looks like a mountains in the background, but it's colored like the ocean. So we're going to switch these colors tonight to the green colors we're doing when this part of the stencil comes up. So I'll tell you when we get there. I just wanted you to know that I'm changing this from what the instructions say to what I think will look better and stand out a little better than the blue that's in this one right now. But that's a personal opinion, so you can entirely do it like this. It still looks beautiful. It's still great. I'm just saying. In addition to that, this is a blue sky with clouds in it. Well, I want to do a sunset. So this whole section that says do it in light blue, we're going to do it in a couple of colors to get us a sunset look. So we'll be following the same process that you would follow when you're using these stencils, but I want to show you that you can change the colors if you want. Once you make it the first time, you'll know kind of how it works. And then you'll be able to change up the colors. So this is the design that we're going to do. It's just going to be switched up a bit. So I hope you guys don't mind that I'm switching it up a bit, but I wanted to play around with the colors. So here we go. This one is the one that says, oh good, this sits right in here just like I thought it would. Perfect. All right. Now, I am going to tell you that these stencils have very intricate little spots on them and they are not stuck down. So you need to be careful and gentle when you use these stencils on your, you can't be rough, you got to be gentle. More ink, less pressure. Just saying. Okay, so this is the one that says light blue up here. Okay, so this is going to be our sky, and that's what we're going to work with first. And then also light blue right here, which is the part of the water. This part right here is supposed to be tan, a sandish tan color, and we are going to do that a sand color. Now I'm going to grab a napkin because what I'm going to do is cover up areas as I work on this so I don't color the wrong color into the section I'm not supposed to color into. So I'm going to turn it this way and I'm going to put my paper right here over top of the top because this is supposed to be tan all the way around and this will be blue. So I want to be very careful when I do it. I don't want to color the wrong thing. I mean, we can always do whatever we want if we color the wrong thing, but I want to try to color it right the first time. Okay, so I chose antique linen for sand. I felt like that was a pretty good color for that. So I have all my brushes here. So what we're going to do is I'm just going to put ink on the top of my brush so that I can kind of work it along that line without going into my water down here. Now, it is a beach, so sometimes sand can be in your water, and that's okay too. But I'm just going to try to avoid that as much as I can. I hope you guys like this stencil when I get done because it is pretty cool. I'm pretty happy with it. I like to use napkins when I'm doing this. Also, then I don't get it all over my fingers and transfer it to a different area. So I'm having there we go. I got a little bit in there, but I'm okay with that. Because it's right at the edge, and that's where the water's going to be, and it's going to be okay. So I'm going to move this over, kind of protect that area right there. And I'm going to add the sand. By the way, I'm still loving this sticky mat. Not going to lie.
Darlene and Meg came.
Hi Meg.
Darlene.
And Darlene. Hello, hello. Okay, so this is step one. There's my sand. That's what I want, sand. Okay, now I'm going to close that up. And my next piece was going to be water at this bottom piece right here that's light blue. So I chose tumbled glass because it said light blue, so I wanted a color blue that was very, very light. Oh, I'm glad you like the napkin idea. It helps me a lot. So now I'm going to put in this blue. And I like to move it around in circles because it kind of fills it in just a little bit better to me. This is not my inkiest stamp pad, so I have to use a little bit of pressure. So I'm just holding the stencil still. It works pretty good, so it's okay if you get a little bit in different areas. It's not going to be perfect, but it's pretty close. I got some over here. I probably should have put my napkin there. But I believe that's going to be a darker color anyway with the water, so I think we're fine. So there's our blue water. Now, the instructions for this say to do all of this at the top in this same blue color, and that will be your sky. Here's where we're going to change it up a bit. So I have chosen, let me put this brush up so I can keep track of where I'm at. I have chosen several colors. So I've chosen these three: Squeezed Lemonade, Wild Honey, Abandoned Coral, and then I'm also going to use Faded Jeans. So these are going to be my sunset colors. So instead of just doing blue, I'm going to do an entire sunset. Hopefully it works out super great.
If anybody's curious, these are just tools I made for you to organize.
Oh, yeah. So I know you guys see all these tools and stuff. Dale just comes to me and says, will this be helpful to you? He just makes me stuff all the time. So feel free to ask, but if it's a Dale made thing, then I don't have a shop for you yet to purchase that from. So, okay. So starting off, we're going to use Squeezed Lemonade. I'm going to try to keep that up so you guys can see the color. And what I want to do is I'm going to put my napkin here because I don't want to get any yellow underneath this layer. This is my sun right here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this Squeezed Lemonade and I'm going to put it sort of like this. So it'll have yellow very strong right here. And then it'll get lighter and spread out. So I want it to be very prominent right around my sun. And then as I work my way out, I will do it lighter. So a little bit up here. And then I'm going to go this way, but I'm going to go real light touch because I want it to be yellow, but not as dark as the rest. So a little bit of yellow in there. Okay, this sounds crazy, but oh, you love what he makes? Yeah, a lot of people love it. He's very good at that. He watches me struggle and then makes me stuff. It's super cool. Okay, next we're going to move on. That was our Squeezed Lemonade. Now we're going to move on to our Wild Honey. So from yellow to orange, and I want these to transition fairly well. So I'm going to start above and work into the yellow area that I have. I'm not going to go completely over the yellow area. I just want to work it into it so you can see You can tell these branches move, so you have to be really careful around those. They're not attached to anything, so... But, you know, honestly, if they were blowing in the breeze, you'd be able to see the sky behind it anyway, so not really a problem. I got a story for everything. That just makes it all nice. Okay, so now, it doesn't have to be very consistent because the sky isn't either. But I am going to go back in with my squeezed lemonade real quick, and I'm going to just make sure that these colors just kind of bleed together a little bit smoother than what I had before. Just gonna work on that. Just a little bit. Okay. So I'm feeling a little bit like I don't have enough right there. So I'm just gonna tap it a little bit, and then I'm gonna touch it with my yellow one more time. Okay. And then we're gonna switch to red. So our red is going to be Abandoned Coral, because I matched them up on those little cheat sheets I made for my oxides, and this one has a little bit of orangey red, which I thought would go really well with the yellow. Now this doesn't look blended real well, but it will when we're done. So I'm going to start putting in a bit of red, kind of over the orange, but above the orange as well, if that makes sense. And I want this to be a bit deeper, so I'm going to go over it a couple of times. Need to leave space at the top for the blue. So what I normally do is go back in with the previous color. So now I want to go back in with the orange one and make sure that my transition between orange and red is pretty smooth. It will get a little bit on your brush of the other color, but then I just take a piece of paper and just kind of rub it on there to get off any excess color, and I don't usually have too much problem with that. So next we're going to get our faded jeans, because I love this color of blue. It's one of my favorites. So we're going to take the lid off of this one, and we're going to get our blue brush. And then we're going to come in from the top and go into the red, like this. It's not going to be very dark at first, but we'll go over it again to kind of deepen that up, because I feel like that'll really blend that together. And red and blue make purple, so you might have a little bit of purplish color going on there, and that's okay too, because the sky always has like a ton of colors in it. Now I'm going to come back in with the red, and I'm just going to touch those two together a little bit more, just like we did with the other ones. It's the same process, you're just following it up on each layer so that you get a fairly smooth transition. There we go. So far so good. I think I like it so far. I mean, you could choose any colors. Can you imagine? You can make this a night sky or whatever you want. It, you know, it's all up to you. Okay, so there we go. We have the beginning of our beach scene. So now I'm going to lift up this stencil that's stuck to my sticky mat, which you want to be careful with. You don't want to rip the stencil. So I'm just going to do it very delicately. It's already so pretty. Okay, I'm going to lay that stencil on another napkin so I don't have anything blended up. And you can start seeing this come to life. Step number 2, this is stencil number 2, and it says light green on all of it. So this is an easy step. I'm going to stick it back in here with these stencil guides I have. And it fits perfectly. So I don't even have to think about where to place this. I just stick it right in there and it's great. So now we need a light green. So for light green, I chose Twisted Citron. I love this color green, by the way. So we're going to do the whole thing in this color. So we don't want to forget these ones at the bottom. So I'm going to start them first. Because, you know, I could see myself getting done and going, oh, I forgot. So we'll just start with the pieces I might forget first. And we'll start working our way around the stencil. So you just want to get these colors in here. And remember, these colors are going to layer on top of each other. So in the instructions, it said light green for this one, then there's a medium green, and then there's a dark green. So you know you're going to layer them on top of each other. So you don't need to get this so thick or dark because you're going to put other colors on top of it that are going to be more intense. These are like little bushes on the side. There's our tree. And it's pretty easy once you get the hang of what you're doing to do these. You just want to be careful because that's not attached. So you just want to make sure you're lightly brushing over it so you don't lift it up or mess it up. We just need a little bit more on this side, and then we're done with layer 2. There we go. So that was pretty easy. Layer 2 is very easy. I'm going to put this one away. Lift up our stencil, and now you get another reveal. So you see it start coming to life. Now we're going to have some trees on there. Okay. Now this is layer number 3. This one is broken into pieces as well, like I said at the very beginning of the video, but if you were not here, we'll go over it again now. So being that these guides are right in the place they need to be, you can press down your stencil. I laid it crooked, shame on me. You can lay your stencil down in here, smooth it out, press it down. And they lay in exactly the same spot. So it's amazing. I know you can already see the beauty through it, can't you? This one, I'm going to put my Twisted Citron brush up. So next, the top part of this says it should be mid-green. And then this section right here is supposed to be medium blue. And then this down here is light gray. Now, this line right here, this is the one that looks like mountains to me. So I am going to include this piece as this color green instead of blue. It's just my personal preference. You guys can do it however you want. But Dale was right. Once he did it, he said, "Ooh, I wish I would have done that in the green or whatever." So I'm going to take my napkin now and flip it over since it already has colors on it, so I don't mix the colors, because this one, those are very close and I don't want to mix those colors. So I think I'm going to turn this too. It'll be a little easier for me to see it if I'm looking at it from the side. So I hope you guys don't mind. That's what I'm going to do. And I'm going to do this piece first so I can get this green on here, because I feel like it's a little bit challenging being so close to the other piece. So I am putting some right onto my napkin, but I'm okay with that because that's how I'm preventing getting it everywhere else. Come on. You got to pick up the right ink, Mr. Brush. There we go. Now we're getting some of that green. We know this has to be a darker green, because it has to be darker than the Citron. There we go. Now we're getting somewhere. And now that I have ink on there, you can almost see those lines now where she had drawn the lines around what part goes what color. They're a little bit hard to see on camera, but you can see them very well in person. So here goes our trees. I want them to be darker than the Citron, so I'm giving them just a little bit more effort, taking a little bit more time with them. You don't have to do it fast, just take your time. Get that ink down. Notice I changed directions. That helps get in all the cracks and crevices and stuff so you don't miss anything. There we go. Now we're starting to get some depth in there. Okay, now there are going to be a few more green places, like right here. This is all green as well. So I want to go ahead and get that part done. Now you could use smaller brushes, but I mean, honestly, I have one brush per color and it's this size. So I have a few extra brushes that I'd use for small spots, but I don't have enough for every single one of them. So just gonna have to take it on with one brush. Now I'm gonna cover up this side over here. This is supposed to be blue as well, so I need to be cautious of that, but I'm going to cover this part up. All right, go back over there. So I need to do this tree branch. I'm not going to do that part. Okay, so now we have our medium green in there, and now we're going to have to work on our medium blue and then our light gray. So this one is exactly the same as the instructions with the exception of that piece right there that I changed from blue to green. So my next color, my medium color, I chose Salvaged Petunia. So this is a lot of colors on this project. Now I'm going to flip this around. And I'm going to cover up this end so I don't go into the green for this blue piece, which is going to be this teeny tiny piece right here. So I'm going to have to be super careful with that, but we can do it. There we go. See, that's working. Now, this is going to pick up some of the green from here, but I'm okay with that because this is ocean water, and sometimes ocean water looks a greenish blue. So I'm okay with that. If you are not okay with that, you want to make sure that you have a smaller brush and you can just kind of get into those little small spaces without covering other spaces. That would be a challenge I don't want to go through. I'm okay with some of it overlapping. I kind of think gives it realism look. So I'm okay with that. You guys are quiet. Am I mesmerizing you with this? Because I'm telling you, it mesmerized me the first time I did it too. I just want it to be a little bit deeper right there. Nice. Okay. So now these rocks, and if our paper was bigger, this one, but it's not, so we don't have to worry about that one. So the next color I chose for my rocks was, it said light gray, so I chose Lost Shadow. It's a very, very light gray. It'll be really hard to see. Hi, Maria. Thanks for popping in. I'm going to put it over here. It's really, really light, so you can't see it all that much. Probably not at all on camera, but it's light, light gray. It's perfect for what we're doing. Next, we're going to take this layer off. So now we have layer 3 completed. So now you get another sneak peek at what this is going to look like, and we have 2 layers to go. So I'm going to lift this up off my sticky mat. Oh, it's looking so good. It's looking so good. Each layer looks better and better, don't you think? Now this is layer 4. And it's dark green up here, dark blue right here, and dark gray right here. So we have 3 colors for this Oh, look at how beautifully it just lined up. So great. This one.
Mountain part.
What's that? Yes, I know. I know. Okay. So this section right here is supposed to be blue. It's the water section. But remember at the beginning I told you that this piece right here, this looks like mountains to me, and I'm going to change that to be the same color as this green. So it's the only one I'm altering from the instructions. And I just want you to know that so you'll know. You love it? I love it too, Darlene. Isn't it amazing? Hi, Jenny. Okay, I'm going to turn it sideways so I can see it. I'm going to use my napkin to put over top of the area that's blue, dark blue. The color that I chose for my dark green is Rustic Wilderness. It is a pretty dark green, so I love this color. We're going to start with this small area up here. That looks like the mountains. Instead of doing it blue, we're doing it green. I think the instructions are saying it's more like ocean, like just ocean in the distance, but I kind of like it as a mountain. So I will definitely show that to you, the comparison between the one that Dale did and this one, and you'll be able to make that judgment for yourself on which one you like better. Doesn't really matter, they both look good. This is the dark, dark green. So it's really a contrast to the two lighter colored greens that we used earlier. So I'm pretty happy with this dark green. Oh, thank you, Darlene. Okay, next we are going to choose our next color. So this is going to be dark blue because this is our water. So the dark blue that I chose, I thought about Salty Ocean, but I changed my mind for Peacock Feathers because it goes very, very well with the Salvaged Petunia and Tumbled Glass that we chose earlier. So that's why I chose that color, in case anyone was wondering. So I'm going to cover up this bottom part that's supposed to be gray, and I'm going to do just my ocean here. I'm going to be very careful to try not to go over into that green. This is a very juicy ink pad. Some of them aren't and some of them are. This one's really juicy, so it's a little bit easy to get in those smaller areas without getting too close to the green. So that makes me pretty happy. There we go. And we have very smooth coloring, which I really like. I really like the way these look when you get the really smooth look to them. So next, we're going to do these little rock pieces, and it says dark gray. So remember, we used Lost Shadow and for the light gray, and now we're going to use Scorched Timber for the dark gray. So let me put these brushes back so I don't get confused. Now this is a new color, Scorched Timber. It hasn't been out very long, so I don't have a brush that matches it, so I had to find one. So that's why all my other brushes match and this one doesn't. But they both work really well. And I'd do that one if it was on the paper, but it's not, so we don't have to worry about that. If your paper's bigger, you might have to worry about that. Okay, we're almost done. So here comes your sneak peek at what it looks like after layer 4. Each layer so much better, isn't it? This is the last layer. This is layer number 5. And this one, the entire layer is going to be brown. So this is like the part of the beach that gets wet and looks darker. And then the stems from the trees. And I chose brushed corduroy for this one. Mostly because I wanted it to match with the sandy color from the beach instead of overpowering it with a deep dark brown. So I chose this brushed corduroy instead. Now, this whole layer is brushed corduroy, so we don't really have to worry a whole lot about getting anything anywhere else. So I'm just going to put those on there, and I'm not going to put it real dark when I get here because it does look like where the water went over and deepened the sand color. I don't really need it to be all that dark. So just as long as I get a smooth coverage, I'm pretty happy with that. There's my other tree, this tree, and there we go. That's it for the last layer. So now you're going to get to see what it looks like when it's totally done. Once you do it a few times, it becomes easier and goes by faster. Look at that.
Are you going to go in and do anything for the sun?
No. Well, we could. Dale said it doesn't have any color on the actual sun. So I have a tiny brush right here. So I have this little tiny brush, and I'm just going to brush a little bit of yellow on the sun. I want it to be really light though, so I'm going to brush it on my napkin first, and then I'll just put it over the sun, just so we have a little bit of color in the sun as well, and so it doesn't look just like the clouds. There we go. Now it's a little more subtle. Okay, now we'll take it off the board. And we are going to make cards out of this, but I want to show you one more thing before we do that with these stencils. So this lifts right off. Look at how beautiful that is. So here's the difference. So mine, of course, have different colors and a sunset sky than Dale's does, but this is the back pieces right here. This one that's blue and light blue, and we changed ours to dark green and lighter green. So you can do it either way. This one looks more like the ocean goes on forever, and this one looks like it's just a little cove with some mountains behind it. So, and you can make it daytime, nighttime, sunset, sunrise. Isn't this beautiful? Oh my gosh, what you can do with just a few little things. So I love this. We're going to make a card out of it. I'm going to give it, hey, Danny, I'm going to give it a little bit of time to dry. It's, you know, I mean, it's oxides, it dries, but I'm just going to set it aside because I want it. I know I told you guys that tonight we were going to work with the postage stamp die that we had, the one that we put the stencils on the other night that looks like this. And the other night when we did it, we put the stencils on here, and they fit in each little box. But what happens if the stencil is big like it is on this one? Can we still do that? Can we? Let's see. So what we're going to do is we're going to place this back down here. I'm going to try to center it in where the other one was, so it'll sit, you know, pretty good on there. So we've already die cut this. And what I want to do, hey Meg, what I want to do is I'm going to repeat the stencils in the same order, same colors that I did before. So I'm not going to wash my stencils off. I feel like the colors will blend together anyway. So I'm okay with that. So I'm just going to relayer them up 1 to 5. I'm going to lay them off to the side, and then we're going to put them right back where they were before. So you can keep repeating this process unless you change the colors. I didn't clean off my stencil. Unless you change the colors, then you might want to. But it also sort of helps you know what color you're using. So we are going to start with the sun up here. So we're just going to keep going just like we did the last time. Now, nothing ever comes out exactly the same, but I want to show you what it looks like. It doesn't look like it works on this postage card at all until you get done with it. So I want you to see what that looks like. I'm going to press this down on my sticky mat just to make sure it stays down. This one, I'm going to put just a little bit darker yellow, give us a little bit different look than what we got. I should have this in here so it doesn't move around. Don't know what I was thinking. But I'm going to make this one just a little bit darker at the bottom. Maybe it's not quite as sunsetty as the last one was. Still going to be a little bit lighter outside. And it's mixing some of these colors that we already had on the stencil, which I'm okay with because it's just going to give it a little bit of a different look. I kind of bent that leaf. So I'll have to be a little careful with that. Next, we're going to switch to our orange color, which is Wild Honey. And you can change your colors to whatever you want. It's up to you. It's your creation. So I'm going to hold this down so I don't wiggle that one again. I was like, you know, I told everybody we were going to use that postcard and then I didn't use it. So maybe we should try it and see what happens. So I'm just going to blend these colors together. You guys know I do that from the last one. Once I blend those colors together, I'm just going to wipe it off on here to make sure I don't get any orange on my yellow brush. I'm going to hold my orange brush out so I can use it to blend with my red color. Next is going to be Abandoned Coral. That's my red color. I'm going to come in from the top and just start blending this out. Now this one's going to have a little bit of the blue in it because there's still blue on the stencil, but that's okay. And I'm doing it a little bit lighter. Again, I want it to be earlier in the day. So I want it to kind of be just a little bit lighter so you get a different take on each one that we did tonight. So just kind of blending that out. Okay, next we're going to use the blue. And that's the Faded Jeans. I hope you guys are enjoying this. These stencils are super cool. I really like them. It's great that you can get different looks with the same stencil, which I really, really like. So again, I'd like to have this blue in my sky, but I don't want too much. I'm also going to add some on the sides. So I'm not making it too awful dark. I want it to be fairly light. Then we're going to go back in with our red. Make sure we're blending our red and our blue together just to smooth that out. Make that pretty. There we go. I'm going to wipe on here so I get any blue off my brush. Next, I'm going to move on to the next color. So now our sunset part is finished. Now we're going to lift this up, and down here is where the sand is. In the middle is the water. So we're going to work on the sand first. I'm going to flip this yet again. We're going to work on this sand color first. So the color that we chose for that was Antique Linen. Just going to work along that area right there. I think I just got some in the sky, so I think I'm going to switch this over. Hold on, I did get some in the sky, so we're going to fix that. I think we'll be okay because the mountains are going to go over that and it'll cover all that up. I'm going to put my paper here and turn it so you guys can see what I'm doing. And I'm going to fold my brush this way. I'm okay with getting the sand in the water because sand is in the water, but I don't really want to get it in my sky. So I'm going to come around this corner right here. Again, if you use smaller brushes, you probably wouldn't have that problem. But I don't have a bunch of smaller brushes, so I'm at the mercy of my ability with the bigger brushes. Okay, Next, we're going to do this blue. It's light blue. It's the light blue that was called for the stencil. We just changed the sky. You could put purple and all kinds of colors in your sky. How beautiful would that be? You guys are probably shocked that I didn't use purple for my sky. Because I did not. I'm going to try real hard not to go into the sand with my watercolor. I'm okay with going into the water with my sand color, but I don't really want to go into the sand with my watercolor. So all the way around here, this is all going to be water. I need to add some more ink to my tumbled glass because it is getting a little bit dry. Okay, so now we've touched on coloring in all the spaces for layer 1. And remember, layer 2 is really easy. It's just Twisted Citron will be the next one. So I'm going to go ahead and get that ready while we peel up our stencil and lay number 2 down. So that was 1. And look at that. It's different, but still really pretty. Number 2, just going to lay that down. Fits perfectly in my guides. Sticks to my mat, so I don't have to tape it down, which I love. And then we're going to pull our brush out, and we're going to do all of it in light green. And being that I did everything else lighter, I'm probably going to do these greens a little bit lighter too. I'm not going to spend so much time on them. Because our sky is lighter, our trees will be lighter. So I'm just going to throw this color on there kind of quick. Here and down here. This is a little bit smaller. This postage stamp is, this postage die cut is a little bit smaller than a regular A2 size I cut down. So we'll be able to mat this afterwards as well. This is number 3, layer number 3. It's going to go on there just perfectly again. Just making sure it's down really good. I'm going to take my Twisted Citron and put it up. Now we need, up here is going to be our mid-tone green. And remember, we're going to do this layer in green as well because it'll look like a mountain. So I'm going to turn it again so I don't get anything into it. So I'm going to fold over my napkin and I'm going to lay it down. And then I'm going to grab my Mowed Lawn, which is my medium green. We're going to work on this one first. And I'm just going to color right over top of my napkin so I can get that color in there. I do not want to overlay my colors. I think those are all green too, yeah. So we're just going to keep going because these are all green as well. This is always so, hold your breath. What's it going to look like when I'm done? I'm always like, ooh, am I going to like it? Am I going to like it? And then what I usually do, I need to fold it just a little bit more because we have to do this spot right here. So we're going to get that spot done. That's more bushes and trees. Oh, I don't need to do that one. It's not on paper. gonna flip that over again, and this are blue. This would be our rocks, but you can't really see them, so I'll probably just put a teeny bit on there. Next, let me put some brushes up so I don't get confused and pick up the wrong one. This one is mid blue. So we chose Salvaged Petunia. Oh, you guys are so quiet tonight. This is pretty cool though, huh? I really like it. You know, I'm experimenting with all these new products, so you guys are learning right along with me. I got my next product from, oh man, why is my brain escaping me today? Remember when I colored the flowers and we had washi tape for it, and well, I got a new one of those today, the one with the fruit that I talked about on the live. I'm really excited about it. So I just picked that up the other day, yesterday actually. We have to go all the way down here, all the way to the bottom. The only thing I would have done different doing this one that I didn't do this time is I probably would have taped around the edges so that the postcard edges would all stay white, but I didn't do that on this one, so it's okay. It doesn't really matter, but it would have added a little bit of, I think it would have just added a little bit of elegant look to it. So think about that when you're doing yours, whether you want to put around the postage stamp. I think it looks really good. Okay, so now we're finished with this, layer 3. So I'm going to lift this one up, and you get to see. Hi, Diana. Thanks for popping on. Yeah, this is way easier than it looks, seriously. It looks complicated, really complicated, but it's really not. I mean, each layer tells you exactly what to color. So, and you know, which colors to use. You just choose whatever inks you want. So I'm using Oxides, but you could use any colors that you want. So top half is dark green, middle section is dark blue, and bottom section would be dark gray. This is the only piece I'm changing. This is what we talked about at the last time we did this. I'm changing this to green because I want it to look like mountains and not water. And that comes from just having done it already once, that I like it better that way, but that's a personal preference. It looks great either way. And I'll show you the comparisons when we're done, if you're just popping on now and you missed them at the beginning. So I'm going to lay this here. I'm going to turn my mat so I can put this dark green color in here without getting it in my water. Now we're just going right over this postage stamp die because I think it's gonna look cool, you guys. I'm excited. We'll soon find out though. Okay, this is our dark green, so I'm just making sure I have that really covered and really deep dark green. Okay, then we're gonna lift this up. Now that midsection, this part right here is gonna be blue. This part would be gray if it was still on the paper, but it's not. A medium gray actually, or a dark gray. So we're gonna take our paper, our napkin, and now I'm going to place it over this way and we're gonna turn it this way. So this part right here is supposed to be our dark blue. So what color I chose was Peacock Feathers. So now we're going to put that over top of this dark blue area right here. This is really easy when you have a lot of ink on your ink pad. A little bit challenging when your ink pads are a little dry. Okay, so now we have this color. Now we have one color to go. Peacock feathers gets put away. I'm gonna lift that up so you can see my different sections. Definitely covered well. Gonna lift this up for another sneak peek. And then we're gonna put the last one over top of. This is our number 5 stencil. And this is gonna be our brown color. So from your sneak peek, what do you think? You liking it? Bet you're excited to see the end. I know I am. Okay, so this one is brushed corduroy. It's a brown color for our wet part of the beach and our tree stems. So we gotta have that part on there, right here. And then this is our tree stems. I like that these stencils are a little bigger than A2, so you can play around with placement and such. I really like that. Okay, here's the final reveal. I'm so excited. Are you guys excited? I hope that it looks really great and not silly because it's divided in sections, but we'll see. So pretty. So there it is on the postcard die. Isn't that beautiful? So here it is on regular paper, and then here it is on the postcard die. So you can see the postcard die is a little bit smaller. So we'll be making cards out of these in just a minute. I'm going to take this and put it aside. Dale will definitely clean it for me. Here is the variance in this. So these are the two that we did tonight. And they didn't take too long. It wasn't too bad. This is the one that Dale did before so that you can see. So he followed exactly the colors on the stencil, and it said this layer was the medium blue that matched the medium blue in here. And this one is the dark blue that matched the dark blue in here. So it's kind of like supposed to be the water, I guess. But I kind of like it as mountains. You have that stencil. You'll have to play with it when you get back from PA. Yes, it's really beautiful. And you can do whatever you want with the sky. I just wanted to emphasize a sunset. And I really like how it came out. So I chose a few card bases that I thought we would put together, and I have a little surprise for you guys if you stick around for the card. It's really cute. So anyway, that's the difference between those two stencils, and yeah, you'll have to try it out, Mom. It's really great. So we're gonna make a card out of this one first. So this is our full size. It's 4 by 5 1/4 paper. So I have cut 1/8 of an inch down on a matting paper, and I chose this blue color because I thought it matched really well, and I just wanted a very tiny border around there, so it's a little bit hard to see, but it's just 1/8 of an inch, just very, very tiny. And we're gonna stick that together. I can't wait to show you guys what I'm gonna put on this card. I'm so excited. This is probably gonna be my favorite part of the night. Some of you who know me well will know exactly why as soon as I show it to you. Others, I will tell you. Here we go. We need to center this on here. Feel pretty good about that. So what I do is I flip it over, and I'm going to use my press pop to just press those two layers together so I get a really good hold on that. And then I'm going to flip it back over. I don't want to take away from the colors, so I'm just going to use a white card base. I hope this stuff on my fingers doesn't come off on my white card base. So I'm going to use this little Teflon bone folder that I got from Trinity Stamps. It's really amazing. And then we're going to place this one on top of here. Now, because we didn't pop any of this up in dimension, we can definitely still stamp on it if we need to, because we're going to need some kind of sentiment, but isn't this just beautiful? I just love it. Okay, let's go ahead and glue that one down as well. Now, those who've been watching, I'd like to know if any of you have been watching, and those who've been watching my YouTube channel shorts or TikTok shorts or Instagram shorts where I color images super fast. It's pretty, huh? I really like it. So if you've been watching them, you know that I've been coloring a lot, so I have a lot of images that are not put on cards yet. So I thought that this one would be absolutely perfect. So I hope you guys think the same thing I did, because I was so excited. Here we go. You ready? Yay! See, you've watched a few of them. I have one out there where I colored Stitch, and I had him left over. And so I was like, he would be so great on this beach. I mean, it's epic. I can't even tell you. So we're going to stick him down because it's so cute. And this little Stitch is from the Sassy Club. The set is called Ohana, and it has Lilo and Stitch in it. But I think he's so cute on this card. I just can't even. I mean, it's so perfect. Now, Lilo's hula dancing too, but I did post her coloring, but I saved her for something else that I have going on. So I didn't have her to add, but you could probably put both of them on there and it would be so cute. So I'm pretty sure I'm going to put some kind of birthday sentiment on here, but I haven't decided that yet. So this is as far as we get on this card right here, but isn't this adorable? It almost looks dimensional when you look at it with Stitch on it, I think. But this one, we are going to put a sentiment on. So I chose a couple of papers for this as well. I was thinking to change it up a little bit. I would maybe use the yellow and the sand color to kind of make this one stand out a little differently than the other one. So I'm going to stick this one down. You need my address, right? The funny part is I will have 2 of these, because those who have done YouTube and Facebook, Instagram shorts know that what it takes to do that when you're doing a speed coloring is I have to color it regularly and then speed up the actual video. And when I speed up the video, sometimes I only have 30 minutes. If I go longer than 30 minutes, the whole thing cuts off on me and I have to start over again. So with Stitch, I had to start over again because, you know, I love Stitch and I wanted him to be perfect. So it was taking me a long time to color him. So I ended up having to color him more than once. I actually think I colored him 4 times. But he still looks cute. I got glue on my desk. And I don't know if you guys noticed, but I have this nice glass mat. I really love this glass mat on my desk that just came in. So that's exciting. Okay. So now we have this one done. But this is like a postcard. I mean, I want it to look like a postcard before I put it on here. So I wanted to use something from this stamp set. So this is the ton. It's called Not a Bill. It kind of comes with that. I mean, well, it doesn't come with it. You have to buy it. But this stamp set goes with the Postage stamp set, which I think is pretty cool. So I thought we'd stamp a few things over this to make it look like a postcard. At least I hope it will. So I thought, I was thinking, not a whole lot. I don't want to do a whole lot to it because I don't want to mess it up. But I was thinking that I would do this little thingy right here and this inside of it and this like off to the side like that. And then I want to stamp this that says sending crafty hugs. And we're going to freehand this, so wish me luck. We're also going to use VersaFine ink because, you know, we got to get this one finished for sure, all the way. So when we're stamping these, we have to stamp one at a time. So I'm going to stamp this one first. This is our little circle. And I'm just going to kind of hold it over here while I decide where I want it to be. Because I think it's on a postcard, it's usually either on the top or on the side. So I think I don't want to take away too much from this side. So I think I'm going to put it right here. Just like that. And then I'm going to clean off, if I can figure out what I did with my stamp cleaner.
It's on the floor, right-hand side.
Oh, it fell on the floor. Thanks, Dale. Okay, so I'm going to clean this off real quick because I don't want to leave it unclean because it might stain my stamp. But I won't put them away. You guys don't have to wait for that. And then I want to put this little heart inside. Yay! So far, so good. Makes me nervous to stamp without using my Misty because I'm always afraid I'm not going to get it right. Okay, we'll put that one aside. Now I want to use this, and I want them to go like this. So I'm going to take that, and it's probably going to go off the page, and I'm okay with that. Perfect. Loving it, loving it. I'll wipe that off so we don't get it somewhere else. We're going to switch these out, and now I'm going to use this one that says sending crafty hugs. And let me see, where do I want to put that? I think I want to put that like right here. So I'm going to go ahead and ink that up. And I'm going to put it right here. I'm going to press because I don't want it to not stick. We don't want to have done all this work and mess it up. That would really be a bummer. And there we go. And now it looks a little bit more like a little postcard. Now you could make that happy birthday or sympathy or whatever you wanted, because that background is so cool. It kind of goes with everything. So you can use it for anything you want. And you can make it so you can make it more blue if it's a sad card, or you can make it more, you could even do like black and white. I bet would look super cool. There's just so many things you can do with this. I just love it. So I can tell it's still wet. So I'm going to set it aside while I get out my pop dots so I can stick I want to pop the card up. So I'm going to get some of these. These are just Stampin' Up! Dots. It's all I have left. I need to go shopping. I'm going to take this one. Still kind of wet. So I'm going to be really careful with it. And I'm going to start putting these on the back. So I'm going to hold it this way. These things bug me. I usually use them, but tonight I don't. I'm just not feeling it. Sorry. Just not feeling it. Don't stick to my hands. Should be pretty easy to get these peeled off. You shouldn't have to wait too long for that. Because we really just want to get enough on there to hold it up. I'm going to lift this up so I can pick them up easier. Now, I normally wouldn't be holding it like this, but I want to make sure it dries before I lay it down. I don't want to mess up what we stamped on there. So I'm just being a little more cautious than I normally am with all of this. These little things are sticking to me all over the place. 2 more. And done. So now I can still see the S is a little bit wet. This one is pretty dry. So I'm going to peel these off, holding it up again because I don't want to smear my words. These are a little bit harder to peel off than those other ones I was using the other night. It's a little bit frustrating, but I need to get some more of the other ones. I gotta go shopping, you guys. Who doesn't like crafty shopping? So while I'm peeling these off, so you guys don't have to just listen to me peel these off, I'm going to talk a little bit about what's going on next week. So next week, we are going to introduce some Trinity stamps, and they are Christmas gnomes. So we're going to do the Christmas in July type theme. I posted a picture of what it's going to look like. It's going to take both Tuesday and Thursday night because we're going to color all of it, and we're going to make, we're going to learn to make mini slimline card and mini slimline envelope and a tag. So we have quite a few different little things going on with that, and we're going to color. So we're going to color and craft. So I don't want you guys to miss out on that. And I wanted to let you know that that's what's going to be going on next week. You can always catch the replay on YouTube. Make sure you like and subscribe if you do that. If you're watching on YouTube, it really helps me. And right now I'm trying to grow the YouTube and other channels. So any likes and subscribes are super helpful. And comments are great as well. Look at that. Isn't that pretty? It's so simple, but so elegant. And then we have a cute, sweet, funny one, but doesn't it look good on the postcard? I think it does. I like it. You know, you could even cut it apart and make it a puzzle for little ones. But anyway, this is the postage die for that I got from the ton. And if you missed last week's video, Tuesday's videos, we did sunflowers and cherry blossoms, but they are designed to fit in each one of the squares. This one is not. This is a full scene that we just put on the postage stamp and made it look beautiful. I hope you guys enjoyed that. I hope you liked it. I think we're going to use dots on here as well. So I hope you really liked that. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you guys will look into those stencils if you're interested, because they are really neat. I do not have an affiliate link for the ton, but their website is thetonstamps.com. So it looks like this, www.thetonstamps.com. So if you like those, that's where you can get them, or any expo that you're close to. They are usually there. They're at almost every one I've been to. So you can definitely get them there. I'm not going to put any dots on his yet because I haven't decided the sentiment, especially if I end up sending it to one of you guys. Then I don't know what I'm going to put on the sentiment. So I don't want to put one on just yet. So I'm going to put a few dots on here because I really like these and I think they'll look really cute, but not a whole bunch, just a few. We're just going to put a few on here, just around the sentiment to make it stand out just a little bit more. There we go. Just a few little bitty dots on there just to make it fancy. Oh, this makes me want to go to the ocean. I had a super great time showing you guys how to use these stencils this week. I hope that you enjoyed it. Here is the other version of it. If you guys have these and you're going to play with them, will you please share in the group? You know you do not have to use Ledoux Designs images. Yes, there are Ledoux Design images on the market, in case you didn't know. You cannot currently purchase them, but they'll be back soon. So keep your eyes and ears peeled for that information coming out soon. But you can share any of your projects. I don't mind. So if you have this and you guys create with it, I would love to see it. So please share in the group on Facebook. Thank you so much for being here. I'll see you guys next week on Tuesday, same time, 8:30 Central. Thanks. Good night.